Ty, how you doing, my man?
I am fantastic, Jason. Did you guys remember to reference Koskinen has a no trade clause as well? So if the Oilers want to trade him, they need his permission as well.
Well, he's got 15
Yeah,
teams.
15
He's
team
got
no
a he's
trade.
got a partial no trade, but still, yeah, that's even better, right? Hey, guy, you've never been a full season in the NHL. Here's a partial no trade clause. Unreal.
Pete Chiarelli would have given me a no trade clause, and I didn't even work for the organization. Buy or sell brought to you by Jock Market. Stay in the game. It's a hybrid between fantasy sports and the stock market. We got our promo code DFO50, gets you a $50 deposit bonus. We're going to start with sort of a head-to-head question here in buy or sell. It's going to be the Canes versus the Lightning. If you had to buy or sell on one star heading into this series, would it be Sebastian Aho or Nikita Kucherov? Frank, which one you buying on?
I'm going to go with Aho. Pretty consistent playoff performer. I know that when we had our media hacks playoff pool draft, Aho was my first selection. And so I'm going to stick with Aho.
I'll go Kucherov. He's guy's rested, comes back, and man, when he's on that power play, it's almost unstoppable. So I will take Kucherov.
You guys touched on this a little bit earlier on in the podcast, but the idea that the Colorado Avalanche have been sitting for a while, and some would say that too much rest would create rust. Do you buy or sell the idea that the Avalanche could be rusty heading into their playoff series against either Vegas or Minnesota? Jason?
Well, I'm selling because I expect that series is going to start either Sunday or Monday, right? So they last played on Monday. That's like a bye week in a normal regular season. I think they're rested. I think they'll be fine. Like, if there's rust, it might be in the first period, and then it's gone after that. Nathan McKinnon, man, the guy was averaging 2.25 points. He has 9 points in 4 games. Like, him and Rantanen are just on fire right now. So if the rust is there, it's about as long as the hair on my head, which isn't very much. So it won't be long to see McKinnon and Rantanen dominate.
Yeah, I'm going to buy the rust factor. And I think you're right, though, Jason, that it doesn't last very long. But still, if it lasts enough in game one that it's an impact and either Vegas or Minnesota has an edge to start the series, I don't know that it's going to make that big of a difference overall because Colorado is going to have plenty of runway to get back into it. So I think they're in fine shape, but I do think there is a rust factor for sure.
The Boston Bruins will be going up against the New York Islanders. Boston could arguably be the hottest team in hockey. Islanders coming off a big win over the Penguins. I'm going to say Bruins in 6 or earlier. Buying or selling on that, Frank?
Selling.
Okay.
I think not you, but everyone continues to underestimate the New York Islanders at their own peril. I mean,
I know I do.
I had Pittsburgh winning that first round series. Barry Trotz, all the man does is win in the first round. And guess what? He won in the second round last year with the Islanders too, getting them to the Eastern Final. I just think they find a way to, if not win the series, push it pretty deep.
6 or less, I'll buy on that all day long. I like Boston over Washington. The Islanders aren't going to get the gift goals from Tuukka Rask that they got from Tristan Jarry in the first round. I agree that Trotz gets the most out of his team all the time, but the Bruins are rolling. Their top 2 lines are really good. And, Jake DeBrusk is now in their bottom 6, and he's been really good. Like, that's an excellent production guy in the bottom 6, and Charlie McAvoy. So I'll take the Bruins under in 6 and under all day.
Just to offer a little rebuttal here, to flip one thing you said on its head, in the same way, the Bruins are not going to get the easy goals that they had on the Caps with the way that Ilya Sorokin's been playing. So I don't know.
Well, what if Varlamov's in there? Trust me, his gift is
Sorokin is going to be in net the way that he played in that series.
Yeah.
Speaking of Tristan Jarry, the Pittsburgh fan base is not too happy with what they got from their goaltending. You can understand why. I'll say Pittsburgh will have a new starting goaltender in that organization by the start of next season. Jason, buying or selling?
Nah, I would sell on that big time. I think the Penguins, you know what's funny? Go back to Tristan Jarry, go back to 13-14, Marc-Andre Fleury's save percentage. Jarry was still better this year. Hey, Jarry's a young goaltender, and you know what? It's 6 games. He, I would give him the puck in overtime 100 times. I don't think he's serving up a pizza like he did to Josh Bailey again, right? Like, he's a really good puck mover. So I will, Tristan Jarry will be back in Pittsburgh. I don't have much doubt about that.
I'm buying. Tristan Jarry will be back. I just don't think it'll be as the starter. I think they're going to bring someone else in to, if not challenge. than to play in tandem. I think the way that this season played out, the lack of confidence, you could see that bench sag, you could see the team sag. He looked like a man that was pleading to get out of the net. And the fact that Casey DeSmith was hurt put them in a tough spot and left it all on Jari. But I still think that you have to make some sort of decision this summer to bring someone else in.
Any names you think that might interest them? Too soon to tell?
Yeah, too soon to tell because there's going to be so much in play with the expansion draft.
Yeah, fair enough. The last buy or sell question, we got two teams that were bounced in the first round, the St. Louis Blues and the Washington Capitals. If you had to buy stock on one of these teams moving into next season, which one has the brighter future? Are you buying on Washington or are you buying on St. Louis? Frank?
I'm buying on Washington. I still think that group, people look, and the question with both teams was with the number of first round exits that they've had both before and now after winning their Stanley Cup, was the cup a fluke? And I think, it's too hard to win. I think it's unfair to say to any team that it's a fluke to get 16 wins in a postseason. And I think with Washington, with the changes that they've already made up front, moving out Verana, they're going to be moving out Kuznetsov. They're going to reinvent themselves a little bit. I think their back end is stronger. I think their goaltending is stronger. Jordan Binnington, 0-9 in career playoff starts since winning the Stanley Cup. And their defense really took a hit this year in St. Louis, and so much change and influx coming at forward with St. Louis for the team that's gotten a little long in the tooth. I think I'm going to go with Washington.
Oh yeah, I would take the Caps for sure. I like their team. St. Louis, you know what? They're such a different team than when they won the Stanley Cup, specifically on the back end. And no Pietrangelo, no Edmondson. Jay Bouwmeester was an excellent defender who just, he didn't say much at all, but man, he played. He was just, you never noticed him because he rarely made a mistake. And the guys were all huge. I just think that's a tough loss for the Blues. They'll be a competitive team next year. They're going to be in a tough division, though. The Central will be a very tough division next year. But I take Washington all day. I think there's a really good chance the Blues might not make the playoffs next year unless they make a significant change in the offseason. And I wonder what they do with some of their free agents.
Yeah, it'll be an interesting offseason in both those markets. That is Buy or Sell, brought to you by Jock MKT. Stay in the game at jockmkt.com. The hybrid between fantasy sports and the stock market. Get involved for the second round of the playoffs and use that promo code DFO50.